Hey guys, hey, it's good to see you, Quest. Here we are entering into the last part of July, and so just some things coming up. But one thing I wanted us just to mention and encourage you. We started several months ago a series called Friday Nights at the Fight. And here's the deal, and I just want to remind you why we're doing this. You don't have to be married coming to it, but it is focused on marriage on the most part. Now, I wanted to say, sometimes we have made an idol out of marriage in the Christian church. That's where it's really at. If you're single, that doesn't really count. You're kind of secondary. You're kind of a half person. And I just want you to know, we know the scriptures don't teach that at all. The being married or being single, not one better than the other. But we do recognize that there is this unique thing called marriage, and it's a beautiful thing. It's interesting in chapter 5 of Ephesians that Paul uses it as an illustration for the love of God, the love of Christ for his people. And that there's something unique about that relationship between Christ and his people that needs to be reflected in the love of a husband for a wife and the love of a wife for a husband. There's something profound about marriage. And in fact, we all came from some sort of connection between a man and a woman, right? Of course we did. That's how it works. And so there's something unique and profound in a culture. And when marriages begin to break down, and when families break down, cultures break down, societies break down, and it doesn't work. And so there's something really important. But we all know if you're married, that being married isn't always easy. There is a challenge to it. And sometimes it can feel like, you get in this battle between husband and wife, man and woman, and they start battling it out. And there's a kind of a fight. And so we've said, yes, there's a fight. It's not easy. How do you make one out of two, is what the scriptures say. Well, how do you do that? Well, that's not easy. It's not supposed to be incredibly hard, but it's also not easy. There's a great book out called Sacred Marriage, which says, what if marriage is more about making you holy than about making you happy? Now, we want to be happy and enjoy it, but you know what? There's something about that God uses it as a place to mold us and to reach us and touch us and to challenge us and to help us become more mature. So that's what it's all about. But rather than do a marriage retreat, which often, and some of my really close friends who are all counselors had said, don't do a marriage retreat, it's a disaster. You say you're going to marriage retreat, and all of a sudden the expectation level goes really high. The gal's like, wow, I hope we go. I hope he wants to go. I hope he asked me to go. I hope we go there. I hope God gets a hold of him. And sometimes that happens for the guy too. He's like, hey man, I hope my wife listens up because there's some things she needs to hear, right? And then you get there and it's too much, too fast, hard to apply. You get back and 2 weeks later, nothing's changed. And people say, see, told you. And there's more dissatisfaction than before. And so we decided, rather than doing a retreat, that we would do a series of Friday nights. Grabbed onto that theme of Friday Night at the Fights, and we changed it to Friday Nights at the Fight, where you can come and fight for this important relationship called marriage. And so we have one coming up here on August 4th. We're going to kind of focus on the needs of both the man and the woman inside a marriage. What are the needs that need to be addressed? What we need to understand. Because the Apostle Peter told us to live with our wives in an understanding fashion. I think it's interesting. I'm not sure he said that we need to absolutely understand each other. But I think he says, I want you to live with each other in a fashion that communicates understanding. And I think, well, maybe there's something a little different about that. So I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you to sign up. I want to encourage you, invite your friends, invite your neighbors. Many of them are married, and many of them are saying, hey, we'd like our marriage to be better or be enriched or maybe even be saved in their marriage because they're difficult. And many are saying, I quit, I'm done. I've run out of hope. And so we want to address that. So We'll not do it perfectly. We're just going to go for it and address it. I'm going to be kind of presenting on that night. And so we want to talk about how to address understanding one another. Okay? So, Friday nights at the fight, August 4th. I think we start at 6:30. So I just want to encourage you to come. This, I think, could be one of the most important things we address, because I believe that the greatest evangelistic tool that we have in the future, or at least one of the greatest evangelistic tools, will be marriages that work, homes that work. Not perfect, but they work, because people are dying for their marriages and their homes to be a place that's rich. We want that too. Okay, that's what I want. I want that for you. So, see you on August the 4th. Come prepared. We'll have some discussion. We'll have some presentation. We'll have some dessert. It's usually a pretty fun night, okay? All right. Love you guys. Be well. Take care.